Good evening, folks. Happy Saturday. It's Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Tonight, I want to talk about the changes that are happening here in the city of Yonkers. We're finding out that the Shoprite on Riverdale and the mall around it has been sold. Join me.
Fatality.
Good evening, folks. I'm Freddie Vasquez. Happy Saturday night. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Yonkers is changing. And what does that mean for those who have been living here in the city of Yonkers most of their lives, if not all of their lives, especially those living on the southwest side of Yonkers? Happy Saturday, folks. A lot is changing here in the city of Yonkers. And I'm finding out that the Shoprite over on Riverdale and Prospect has been sold. According to some people, this is something that's old news. Where were we at? I don't know. I didn't hear about this. Although I did mention that it was going to be replaced. I didn't have all the details, but now I'm finding out that it has been sold to a company called Hager Pacific Properties for $38 million. And it's not just the shop, right? It's also the CVS that's located there as well. Many people rely on this Shoprite, especially in the area, to buy groceries. Many people in the area don't have vehicles, so this is the closest shopping center or supermarket that they can go to. It's easy for them. And also the CVS for many people, elderly people who are on fixed incomes, who live in the area, who don't drive, who have to walk over to get their medication. What will they do? And what's going to go up there? It's going to be, I'm hearing, a Whole Foods. It's going to be a mixed-use development. It's going to be a Whole Foods located on the first floor, the street level. And then above that, it's going to be more luxury residential. So what does this mean? What does this indicate? And I've been saying this for a while. This means that, they're replacing the people. If they're bringing a Whole Foods there, right, they're bringing luxury apartments. The cost of living is going up, the rent in the area. Most people are not going to be able to afford that. The average salary of a resident of the city of Yonkers is $35,000. So how are they going to be able to afford an apartment, let's say in the riverfront, where they're going for $3,000 a month, and they want you to make 3 times that rent monthly? And that's just for the rent. You have other bills to pay, right? So there's a lot of changes happening here in the city of Yonkers. I want to get into some of the development that's going to be happening in the downtown area, and what is the city going to look like in another 5 to 10 years from now? And is that going to match with the people that are there now, or is it going to be obvious that it's a whole new demographic they're expecting to be coming in, who are already coming in? But before I go into that, I want to talk about this. Here, I got some information on this. Look, folks, why am I reporting this? Because we need to know who are the individuals that are going to that are we looking to vote for, right? If you're running for office, we need to thoroughly vet the candidates. Deanna Robinson was endorsed by 1199 SEIU. As you can see here, she's running for District 1 Council, the seat for District 1, right, on the Yonkers City Council. She currently works as the aide for Shanae Williams, who currently holds the seat now for District 1, who's looking to beat Debbie Kozak for county legislator of District 16. That's the seat that was once held by Chris Johnson, who had to resign over a housing scandal. Something similar to Vidat Gashi and even Ken Jenkins. But someone, had forwarded me a social media post of Miss Deanna Robinson. And you can see here, she's in a vehicle. She's got a cup with, I would imagine, is alcohol. There's a passenger in there with an open bottle of alcohol. And she's in a car. She's driving. And this has been a problem here in the city of Yonkers among city employees, driving while drunk. Now, someone says, well, how do you know she was driving? I don't know. I wasn't in the car with her. But this is not a good look. I mean, you're in a vehicle, you're with alcohol, open container. Are these the decisions that we, that someone who's going to be representing a district here in the city of Yonkers should be making. So this is what I mean. We have to vet our candidates thoroughly. We want to make sure that those who are going to be in leadership roles are going to make smart decisions. Remember the case of Stephen Dolan and 16-year-old CJ Hackett, boy that was killed by a drunk driving city employee? I can go on a list, and I don't want to go over it again, of other employees who have driven drunk and have caused accidents, injuries, and even death. So what's going on here? Maybe the city of Yonkers needs to really step up, and they need to talk with their employees, because this is not okay. But the reason why I mention it again is because she's running for District 1. So the voters of District 1 have to decide, are we going to vote for someone who makes these type of decisions? She's currently being managed by Frank Jarris and Zahi Jarris. They are running her campaign. Zahi Jarris is the individual that I spoke about, two-time felon, convicted of political corruption, served 4 years in jail for corrupting council members here in the city of Yonkers, and now he's behind this campaign of a woman who seems to make bad decisions. So, should we vote for Shatika Parker? I'm in support of Shatika Parker, and I hope most of you in District 1 are in support of Shatika Parker. And if I was Shatika Parker, I would highlight this. I would highlight this. And 1199 SEIU, maybe you should revoke your endorsement. Maybe you guys should not be endorsing someone who's promoting drinking and driving. The vehicle in front of her, you can see by the glare, has its brake lights on. So it seems like they might be at a light. So whoever says, whoa, how do you know she's driving? It appears that she's driving. You're in a car, you're with alcohol, you're behind the wheel. Are you even supposed to have an open container while you're in a car? Is that not illegal? And so there's no justification for this. You're posting this on social media, you're promoting drinking and driving. And will the city of Yonkers say anything about this? So this is why I posted it up, because it's important that we know the candidates that are running for office. We need to have real leadership here in the city of Yonkers. Enough of this circus that we've been seeing in our government. We want change. We need to vote change. And this is not a personal thing, but Deanna Robinson is supported by Frank Jarris and Zahi Jarris, who are managing the campaigns of Natasha Diaz's, the Shanae Williams, the same group of individuals that are constantly running and being elected for whatever reason and are selling out the city. District 1, where most of the developments are happening, is Shanae Williams' district. They're selling out our city. They don't even really know what's going on, right? So these are the type of individuals that they want, compromised individuals that they can manipulate to do what they want on the council, to vote the way they want on the council. There's no real check and balance, and it's time that we change that. We need to start getting new individuals in there who are supported by new people, not by the developers. Zahi Jarris is great at getting developers at your fundraisers. And I would imagine that Deanna Robinson's campaign is also funded by the developers. This is not a good look. Moving on, the Zoning Board of Appeal is set to appoint a new board member to replace Anthony Jalaj. Anthony Jalaj is the 25-year-old son of a real estate investor here in the city of Yonkers. His dad owns 470 Nepperhan Avenue, that building that was sold by the city for whatever reason, but now has all these tenants, including the DEA, the Yonkers IDAs in there. West Hab now has something running up out of there, but it's a moneymaker. But for some reason, the city sold it. And now this guy's dad owns it. This guy, Anthony Jalaj, is 25 years old. He became the board member on the Zoning Board of Appeals after they removed two other individuals who had been on there for 30 plus years. Veterans who understood city planning. Why were they replaced by a 25-year-old kid who was still wet behind the ears? Because those two individuals would not go along with all the zoning changes that they wanted. specifically that development on Hudson Street. That's the one that they wanted to go 25 stories, ended up at 25, but they weren't supposed to even go that high in the first place. However, zoning laws have been changed to allow all these high rises to go up, and these two individuals would not approve them, so they removed them without even notifying them until 3 months later. They simply appointed Anthony Gelage to replace them and another individual. Well, now they're looking to replace Anthony Gelage, the 25-year-old, with his brother, younger brother, 23-year-old Christian Gelage, who lives in the same address. Christian Gelage lives at 165 Windcliff, is that right, Road. Well, I'm very familiar with that because that's exactly where Zahi Jeris, the guy involved in our politics that should not be involved in our politics, who is facilitating a lot of these real estate deals, including the one on Fernbrook over there in the Ludlow Park between Ginsburg and the city. They're neighbors. So does he go over there and say, hey, this is what we need to get done because the developer buddies of mine, the one that fund all the candidates' campaigns, need you to change these zoning laws. This is what we're going to do. And are these board positions inherited? Are they passed down? You have to be a Gelage in order to get a seat now? So this is nepotism within our zoning board, nepotism within our most important boards here in the city of Yonkers, zoning board, planning board. Many of the individuals that have been appointed to the zoning board and planning board have zero experience or knowledge when it comes to city planning or development. Zero knowledge. But again, it's because they are already told what to do, how to vote. And so this is not okay, folks. And many people may not understand what the problem is, but a lot of the developments that are happening, a lot of these developments that are being protested, like the Twin Towers, the 232-story towers that they want to place on Woodworth, well, how do you think they get the approval when the zoning laws don't allow those buildings to be built there? You have a compromised zoning board that will approve and change all the zoning laws. Sure, the city council has to approve the changes, but again, Zahi Jeris controls many of the council members, and he's neighbors with members of the zoning board, whose father is a real estate investor here in the city of Yonkers. So it's already planned. This is all part of the master plan. What they're doing now when they have these meetings and do these approvals is just going through the motions. And we don't find out until it's too late, right? We don't find out that they sold the Shoprite until it's been sold already. And so that's a problem there. And I think that needs to be investigated. I think the entire zoning board needs to be investigated. This is part of the master plan. Some of the master plan here, I just want to show some pictures of what they're looking to develop here in the city of Yonkers. This is what ultimately Chicken Island will look like. See if I can get that bigger. No, never mind. This is what the Chicken Island is supposed to look like once it's all done. They're planning to build 6 luxury high-rise buildings, AMS, 6 luxury high-rise buildings over in Chicken Island. This is a close-up of it. This looks like New York City. So we basically are becoming the 6th borough. So this is Chicken Island here. This is what it will look like when it's all developed. This is Nepperhan here, City Hall. And these big buildings. So when these buildings begin to go up, what kind of traffic congestion is it going to cause? Many people go into the downtown area to go to work, and it's already difficult to get in there now. And the cars are backed up all the way to Midland Avenue on Yonkers Avenue. So what will it do when these, go up? It's going to be a lot more traffic. Chicken Island Master Plan by AMS. This looks almost like the Twin Towers memorial site. And so this is the master plan for Warburton Corridor area. This is all Lionsgate and Joe Cotter. If you're not familiar with the area, over here is Warburton Avenue. This is the studio that they're building. Do you notice anything about this? Oh, you can see that the PAL is still there somewhere in the back. But Lionsgate pretty much has bought up all of this property along Warburton Avenue. There were several homes here that were knocked down, that were bought, owned by Latinos, Hispanic individuals, minorities, and they were lowballed and they were forced to sell to Lionsgate. And then they knocked the homes real quick. So think of all the traffic that we're going to see here. This is just 1, 2, 3 of the 22 studios that are proposed here in the city of Yonkers that are supposed to be going up for the other studio over here. This is the first one that they build. So this is what Warburton will eventually look like. Will the social services building remain the social services building, or will that be converted into something else or repurposed? So this is all being done for the movie studio, folks. That's why they are knocking down the Shoprite. They're going to put a Whole Foods. Who can really afford to go to Whole Foods? Who in the South Yonkers area goes to Whole Foods? Who can afford to pay $3,000 to $4,000 a month? So you have to understand this is a plan to replace the majority of the people of the city of Yonkers. That's what the master plan is all about here in the city, to replace the people. Affordable housing developers granted $7.85 million in financing to complete 178 Warburton at the Ridgeway in Yonkers. So these are some of the apartments you can see on Warburton. They already have, I believe, 172 is up. They're working on this one now. And this is the multi-phase revitalization efforts aimed to transform downtown Yonkers. So you can see downtown Yonkers here. The city is set to launch one of its largest investment initiatives to transform the downtown center into a vibrant, mixed-use hub of commerce and residency. New developments will be primarily located on the confluence of the Hudson River and Sawmill Rivers. Referred to as the Downtown Revitalization Initiative, the funds will largely focus on 4 major development projects: the floating dock, Phase 4 of the Sawmill River daylighting, Chicken Island, and the Ridge and the Yonkers Greenway, which is the shopping center. According to Sawmill River the Sawmill River daylighting project was conceived as a means to expose the Sawmill River to natural light. Between 1890s and the 1920s, the Sawmill River was buried under concrete to support the expansion of the city. Phase 1 to 3 saw the completion of 2-acre urban plaza, 20,000 square feet, Italian-style piazza, and a new 1.25-acre gateway park for those entering the downtown area from regional parkways to the east. Phase 4 would include extending the riverfront area through the existing Chicken Island parking lot. It's going to be a lot going on. It's going to be a lot of changes. Chicken Island is a city-owned 6-acre. Well, at the time, this is the old article. I'm just telling you what they were planning. They've been planning this for a while. This is not new. This is from 2007. City Island is now AMS-owned 6-acre vacant lot located east of City Hall along the Nepperhan Avenue corridor. The property was recently purchased by AMS Acquisitions, which intends to construct an expansive multi-tower complex spanning approximately 2 million square feet. The $800 million project will introduce a mix of affordable and market rate housing, office space, retail and dining area, a parking structure, and a new pedestrian plaza that feeds into the riverfront extension. So this is what it will look like here. Chicken Island here. This is Chicken Island. I mean, this is crazy. This is definitely not going to be the same New York that many of us have seen. And, for a lot of people, they've made the decision to leave. Others are making the decision to leave the city of Yonkers. And I won't lie, if I didn't say that we have considered that, leaving sooner than we had planned for. It's just changing a lot. It's becoming more crowded. It's becoming more expensive, difficult to get from one point to another here in the city of Yonkers with all the traffic, many car accidents, crime is up, homelessness is rampant. It's just bad. The drug abuse, the drug use is crazy. And so, it's maybe time. But I would imagine that a lot of that won't be here once all of this is complete. This is going to look very fancy. And to all you taxpayers, property taxpayers, better believe your taxes will go up. I mean, if they're going to develop it to make it more fancy, more affluent, a lot of luxury rentals, rent is going to go up all over Yonkers. Taxes are going to go up. It's like Bronxville, it's like Scarsdale, right? More affluent. The more affluent it is, the higher the rents. So prepare for that. But I see many people are selling homes on the east side. There are a lot of for sale signs. And I'm seeing a lot of homes being bought by individuals who are, moving in a bunch of people. Like, I've seen this, several times now, homes now, where there are a bunch of people moving in. Maybe it's more cost effective. You'll see 5-6 cars, in these, 12, 1,500, 2,000 square feet homes. So you're going to see some unusual things happening, as people try to save money. But that's how Yonkers is going to become. Exclusive massive development for downtown Yonkers. So North Broadway, Locust Hill will also be developed by AMS. You got Chicken Island. The Getty Square area is going to be all redeveloped. Then you got the Teutonia on Buena Vista, the 900-unit luxury building that's going to be going up. So it's going to be very crowded down there. It's going to be a lot happening. It's going to be crazy. This is going to be the view right here, what we'll be seeing. A lot of high rises. A lot taller buildings. So hopefully our fire department will be ready for that. But we're becoming a 15-minute city. That's ultimately what Yonkers is becoming. And I believe that Yonkers is probably going to be one of the first 15-minute cities in the United States. And we seem to have a lot in common with Maui, right? There's a lot of real estate being bought up very cheap. A lot of people have been displaced and are homeless. And we both suffered fires. Maui had the wildfires. We had the fire sale of all the city properties, right? So this is all about the development of 15-minute cities, which is what they're also doing in Maui, which they have planned a decade before the wildfires happened. So what a coincidence and how convenient for the wildfires in Maui to have wiped out all that property where they want to redevelop it into this new 15-minute transit-oriented district. We hear that here. It's happening everywhere. And this is all coming from Albany. It's coming from the Democrats over in DC. They're funding all of this. They're paying for all the migrants to come in. That's why they're building all these housing. They seem to be building more housing than they're bringing in jobs. And who are going to be the people occupying all this housing, right? So they're bringing in a bunch more people here, and they need to house them. And so this is what's happening here in Yonkers. Look at that man. That man right there is Bill Salvatore, who was recently indicted for election fraud. He is part of the individuals here in the Yonkers, the cabal that I've been talking about that are involved in election fraud. Zahi Juris, the man behind many of our elected officials here in the city of Yonkers, the man facilitating a lot of the real estate deals, the man that brings in the funding for these campaigns through the developers, right? He's friends with Bill Salvatore. He was convicted or pled guilty to election fraud. He's got the people at the Westchester County Board of Elections, really close to him. And so that's what they do. So if I were any of the candidates running for office, like Moranti, I would want some federal oversight of the elections. I would say we need federal oversight of these elections because there is a possibility that fraud is being committed. And so Moranti's camp and others, Debbie Kozak, maybe you guys might want to get together and see if you can get some federal oversight of these elections, because that as long as that guy is operating within our politics, our government, we're never going to have fair elections. We're going to always see corruption, right? If a man that was convicted of corrupting our city council members, spent 4 years in jail, has pled guilty to election fraud, is operating within our city government, is in control of most of the elected of the city council members, that's a problem, Yonkers. That's why they don't care about you. His concern is getting the developers what they want and lining his pockets up. That's what they do. You see the type of candidates they support, those who promote drinking and driving. They don't care what type of candidates they are. The more compromised they are, the better. The more likely that they will go ahead with what they want them to do. Like Tasha Diaz, you see there. That's why she flip-flopped on the affordable housing. Zahi Jerris backs her. Zahi Jerris backs Deanna. That's why you saw Michelle Sage, right? That's my girl. Your girl's promoting drinking and driving. By the way, Michelle, how's Sarah doing? I heard that, that's no more. Now, Denise is back in the picture. I don't know. That's just what I be hearing. And I know you guys are mad at me. That's why a lot of the Jordanians, like the Sages, all attack me. I talked about Tasha Diaz. I talked about, they love these people because they will do what they want. They are Zahi Jerris candidates, folks. So that's what's happening here in the city of Yonkers. If you care about the fact that you're being replaced, then you need to start being more vocal. You have to start going to these meetings. You have to learn about what's happening. You have to educate yourself on what's going on here. Watch Basement Politics. I give you the information. You're not going to see this on the Yonkers Voice. Did he mention the fact that the Shoprite is going to be closing down? And they're going to put a Whole Foods there? How many of you over in Southwest Yonkers, South Yonkers, who go to the Shoprite are going to go to Whole Foods? Think about it. You're being replaced. You're being replaced. This is gentrification, not by race, but by class. And that's the master plan here in the city of Yonkers. I'm Freddie Vasquez, Basement Politics Unfiltered. It's time to speak up. We have to get vocal. You want to organize? Or we're going to sit back and watch it happen, and you're going to have to find a new place to live. Reach out to me at politicwithfred@gmail.com. politicwithfred@gmail.com. Send me the information. Shout out to the people who give me the information, who send me those photos. It's important that we know who these candidates are. We already have a problem here in the city of Yonkers with drinking and driving. We don't need candidates who promote drinking and driving. Shatika Parker is your candidate over in District 1. If you want someone who's truly for the people, I haven't heard a whole lot from Shatika Parker. Maybe I'm just not hearing it. But, she is running against Deanna Robinson, I believe. And so that's your choice. Jose Diaz for District 17 for the Westchester County Board of Legislators. That's your choice. It's time to vote for change. And if you don't vote, you need to come out and vote. Many people that I speak to have said, I'm not voting. I don't vote. But you are the people that are going to be affected. You're the people that are going to be kicked out ultimately, having to figure out where you're going to live now. Are you going to go to Greenberg? Are you going to go down south? Where are you going to take the voucher? Where are you going to go take or find a place that you can afford because you pay out of pocket, right? It's not for everybody. They're moving people out. This is for the movie studios. This is the master plan. It doesn't involve you. They may say it's for you. They may pretend that we're, renovating all these parks for you, but they're not. They're making it better for the developers so they can come and put their buildings, so they can attract people from New York City and elsewhere, people with higher incomes. That's the master plan. They could have renovated the parks many years ago. They could have done a lot of this many years ago. No jobs have been brought in. Lionsgate is not hiring people from Yonkers. That's a fact. They're busing workers from out of state into Yonkers to work on these developments. So much of what's been promised to you has not come to fruition. And so you have to know what's going on, and you have to be vocal, and you have to vote for change. The free food, all these great events that they do, doesn't matter who's in office, they will still go on. Don't be fooled. Don't just take the chicken, don't take the free hot food, and then allow yourselves to be kicked out. You have to speak up. You have to vote for change. It's time that, you know, we get some new people in there, people that care. You know, we have to root out the corruption. You know, again, if you want to start to organize, you got some information, email me at politicwithfred@gmail.com, politicwithfred@gmail.com. Thank you folks for watching. Have a beautiful night. On tomorrow, I'm going to come and talk about the interesting story on on Joseph Sayage. It's an interesting story, an interesting email that I have received, and I want to talk about all that because I want to talk about the you know, sadistic mentality of these individuals and the things that they'll do and the lengths that they'll go to, right, in order to keep their you know, crimes, you know, and the evil deeds that they do hidden, right, and to hurt people and to destroy people and to remain in power. These people are very sick. And so I want to talk about this email that I got, very strange but interesting email that involves, you know, children, you know, birth from migrants to, you know, big oil tycoons from California, dumping a lot of money into the city of Yonkers and buying up properties, you know, to nonprofits that are being created to funnel money that are all connected to these certain individuals. Is it true? I don't know, but it's a wild email and a wild story. And I want to talk about that tomorrow. I'll have even a video to show. I'm Freddie Vasquez. Have a beautiful night.
I was raised in housing. I was raised in housing.
I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. We must come out, folks. The city of Yonkers, people have to speak up. These changes are not for you. They're kicking you out, and it's time that you speak up. You come out and say something about it. Are you just going to let yourselves be kicked out? Are you just going to let yourselves be pushed out of your homes? Where are the jobs? Where are the improvements to the school? It's time to speak up, folks. You have to come out. Freddie Vasquez. Reach me at politicwithfred@gmail.com. Again, they sold the Shoprite. It's going to be a Whole Foods. I don't know if you guys go to Whole Foods. I don't. Check out the drinking and driving, you know, city employee who hopes to become a district council member, District 1 council member. Are you going to vote for that person? We have to vet these candidates well. The fact that she's supported by Zahi Jerris or funded and managed by that individual, that any candidate managed by those individuals, you should not vote for. That is the freaking definition of corruption. Anyone managed by these individuals, the definition of corrupt politicians. I'm Freddie Vasquez. You see what they're about, and they're about a lot more. And also the cocaine story, the wild one too that they try to sell me. I think they were trying to get me to either get money and say that I extorted this guy, by saying I would not put the information out if you give me this money, and then they try to get me into, that you try to rob this guy. You would set up a plan to rob a guy for $10 million, a $10 million heist,